Additional aids and services are available to individuals with disabilities. To make such a request, please contact us by email, by clicking the Help tab in the PD portal, or at pdportal@tamu.edu, by phone, including Relay Texas at 1-800-441-7323, or in writing to Train PD, PD Portal Support, 4477 TAMU, College Station, Texas 77843. Both a transcript and accessible document of the content presented in this webinar can be found as resources in the course description. Click on the blue links under Course Resources in the description. When a link is clicked, a new browser window will open.
My name is Amber. This is Doing Flips over Flippity Part 2. Objectives for today. We are going to explore Flippity, a website that helps you create interactive activities and materials with a simple list of terms or questions. We're going to use a Flippity Google spreadsheet template to create a timeline, and we'll learn how to embed images, YouTube videos, and Google Docs into Flippity. We'll leave with an understanding of more ways Flippity can work for your classes. What is Flippity? Flippity is a website, and the website is flippity.net. That's important, not com, flippity.net. That allows you to create all kinds of different activities with simple lists of vocabulary questions that you import into Google spreadsheets. And we'll see this in just a moment. Flippity provides the Google spreadsheet templates. So if this sounds complicated, it's not too complicated. They provide the spreadsheet, you put in the information. So it's easy even if you don't have a lot of experience with Google spreadsheets. You just enter in your information. So there's a whole lot of activities in Flippity. How many tools are there? Why, there are 28 different activities and tools. They're always adding new ones. The ones that I use the most personally are flashcards. Flashcards are really great because you can take all your list of terms and transform them into worksheets. But basically, with the flashcards, the reason why I like it so much is that you have different terms and you make flashcards, like typical flashcards like Quizlet, and you can use it as a list. My students really like this because of the speaking. They like to hear the audio as well. And I also like it because it's very minimal. There's not a lot of ads for your students to get confused by. And just one list, you can do flashcards, matching, you can do practice for spelling. But what I really like about it, so you make a list of terms, and then more, you can have all of these different activities with the same list of terms. You don't have to recreate them at all. For example, you could do a crossword puzzle, and it's a printable crossword puzzle. And then it has all the clues down here. And these are printable, not online. You can do flashcards, flex cards, a Jeopardy style quiz show, a random name picker, a randomizer. You can make random sentences and things like that. A virtual breakout if you like doing breakout rooms. A board game. This one is pretty complicated, but a lot of fun for your students. Manipulatives. This is my other favorite. Matching game, Connecto, bingo, a timeline, badge checker, leaderboard, typing test. The nice thing about the typing test is you put in whatever text you want and then they practice with that text. Spelling words, word search, Flippity crossword puzzle, word scramble. These are all just printable. Snowman, which is hangman. Wordmaster, which is Wordle, if you want to do a Wordle. Progress indicator for gamification, a word cloud. Fun with fonts, just for fun. And Mad Libs, which is also kind of complicated and you have to have your own text. A tournament bracket, a certificate, and a quiz, a self-assessment. So many possibilities. The thing about Flippity, and we'll see it in just a moment, there's some upfront preparation, but once you have a list of terms, then you can use that in all these different Flippities and not have to keep creating new things. You can just copy them. How to Flippity. Number one, find the activity you want to make on flippity.net. And then you're going to click on instructions. Make a copy of the template. The copy template will be stored in your Google Drive. Enter the information you want to use and rename the template so it's easier to find. You have to be in your Gmail, and it makes a copy in your Google Drive. If you're not familiar with these things, that's the important distinction. Nothing is stored on the Flippity website. It's all stored in your personal Google account. So you get this spreadsheet. You're going to enter the information you want to use and rename the template so it's easier to find. And I'll show you how to do all of this in a moment. And then when you're ready to share it, you go File, Share, Publish to the web, and then Publish. I know this sounds complicated, but all the directions are there, and I will show you in just a moment. And then you're going to share the link with the students or print the activity, depending on which activity you use. If it's digital, you share the link with students or you print the activity. I'm going to go through all these steps again with you. Don't worry, but these are the steps of making a Flippity activity. Some Flippity considerations. You must have a Gmail account and be signed into the account. The Google Sheet templates are automatically added to your Google Drive. If you don't have a Gmail account, make one, a free one, and then it will go into your Google Drive, which is connected to your Gmail. The other thing to note is that the activities are isolated. You give the same link to all your students, but they cannot see each other's work. So that's the downfall here, is that no one can see each other's changes. It's not super collaborative in that way. So today, we're going to make a timeline. Timelines allow you to create visual representation of any subject over time. You can embed images, YouTube videos, links, and Google Docs. After you learn how to embed on a timeline, try it on other Flippities. Remember, there's always two options on flippity.net. You see demo and you see instructions. Demo is to see how it will look for students, and instructions are what you want to click to make one. I want to show you a timeline first. The demo is about Mr. Rogers. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of space when you make a timeline. To make it smaller, you can use that. This condenses the timeline. This shows all the details. So here, if I want to just see the title, that's fine. I can click on them and I'll see the details in them. This one is a Google slide, which you can embed in there, or this one is just information, but there is a link, and this is a symbol for link. But to open all of them, the arrow, it opens all the little windows in the timeline. So you can see all the different information going down. So it just depends how students want to look at it. You can do all sorts of different things. You can put pictures. And what I like about the pictures is that there's a way to put in the image credit. You can put in YouTube videos as well. That's what's nice about a timeline. But once you learn how to do this in one Flippity, you can do it in all of them. We're going to go to Flippity timeline and instructions. Instructions. These Flippity instructions are very, very useful. You modify the Google spreadsheet template and it is here. You click on it. You edit the information in the appropriate columns, and you can enter as many events as you wish. Name your timeline by changing the name of the worksheet at the bottom, and do not edit any cell with a blue background. You'll see what I mean in just a second. So first we modify the Google spreadsheet, then we publish the spreadsheet. Again, the directions are go to File, Share, Publish to Web, then click Publish. And then you get the link, and there will be a place where it says get the link here, tab of the template at the bottom. And then bookmark it and share it. There's more advanced directions down here that you can look at, like, for example, how to put in images or YouTube videos or Google Docs. But for whatever Flippity you want to make, go ahead and read the instructions just to save yourself a headache later. So they're very useful, these instructions. Okay, so let's make one. Okay, so what you do is you click on the template and it's going to automatically tell you to copy it. So you make a copy and then all the information that had been entered appears here. Flashcards will just be 2 columns, but this one is much more complicated. So we're going to make it easier the first time. Okay, the first one will be easier. So what you want to do with the template is, number 1, up here, you want to name it so you can find it later. Okay, so up here on the top where it says copy of flippity.net timeline template, you want to change the name so you can find it in the drive later. And my English class went to the Texas History Museum yesterday, so I decided let's do Texas history. Okay, now you have all this information and I don't want this information. All you do is delete it all. All you have to do is hold and drag and delete. So now you're left with just the information that you want to put in. I'm just going to make a brief timeline to show you how you do it and this is true for any Flippity. You just put in the information. Okay, I'm going to put in a couple of years. For a timeline, if you want to do BC, you put a negative and it'll show up as BC. So right now I'm just going to do year and headlines. In 9200 BC, people began living in Texas. The first Europeans arrived. The Alamo was built. Also, if you have something already built, you can copy and paste into this. Formatting is not important as long as you don't mess with the blue parts, okay? Sorry if my grammar isn't correct here. This is how you do it. So you could put in month and day, but that's optional. All you really have to do is put in 2 columns, the year and then the headline. The year must be numbers, and then the headline can be whatever you want, okay? So you just put in your information. When you're ready, if this is all I want, that's fine. I don't need anything else. I can just have 2 columns of information. Let's go back to our directions and read the directions, okay? So I edited what I want, okay? So now we need to publish your spreadsheet. Publish your spreadsheet. So we're going to go File, Share, Publish to the web, then click Publish, okay? So it goes like this. File on the top, share, publish to the web, and then publish here. Now your timeline or any of your Flippities will be live and you can use the link that is here on the bottom where it says get the link here. This is the link you're going to want to share with your students. And I'm going to copy it. I always open it to check it to see what it looks like. And then we've made one. Now we can change it and then our Flippity will change. So anytime you want to change, you can. If you want to add more or do anything else like that, it'll change. When you look at the example, it just says timeline here. If you want to name it, then you're going to name it on the bottom. You double click on this and you can rename it. You can add more things to this. All the Flippities are similar in that you make this chart. So to add more things though, and this is true like for flashcards, when we did flashcards, we didn't add pictures, but to add pictures, you can do that. To add YouTube videos, you can do that. This is all more advanced. So I recommend you practice first just putting in information and creating these activities, but then you can go and put in more media. So we can add more information in, but this is the basics of it. For any Flippity, there's usually 2 columns of information and you put those in and publish to the web and then get the link here, okay? What I want to do is put in a little bit more information. So we can put in a description if we want. I don't really like to do color just because in case people can't have difficulty seeing color. Media, so here's where you want to put in picture or YouTube or something like that. For picture, the picture must be a link. It can't be uploaded from your computer. It must be a URL. It must be a link. So I opened up Wikipedia here. I just searched for Texas history. Usually I get my pictures from Wikipedia because generally they're open source. And then I found this picture that I want to use and I click on it and it shows different tribes in Texas. So what you want to do is right click on the image. You're going to copy image address. And then we go back to your Flippity and then you're going to paste it in here. On the side here, I have media credit. So I can credit, but then I can also put a link just in case I want a link so that they can go see that. It takes a little while for it to connect. So see, my title changed, but it'll take a moment to put the picture here. You can put pictures in your flashcards, in your quiz shows, in any of these things, as long as you just put it in as a link to the image. All right, so let's pause on timelines and let's go back to flashcards and I will show you how to make those because I think that those are the most popular ones anyway. So when you go to Flippity, go instructions. All the instructions are here. And then there's a template here that you want to do, okay? You're going to make a copy of this template and it's going to open up and you make a copy. And this comes up. And so this is the demo template. You want to rename it so you can find it. And again, you want to delete everything. Just delete everything. The nice thing about flashcards, if you're teaching Spanish GED, you can change it to Spanish. Or if you're teaching a language, you can change the language. And then here, all we do is put in our two sides. The two sides of information. Now we need to publish our spreadsheet. So file, share, publish to web, and then publish. File, share, publish to web, and then publish. So you see, you can see the flashcards. So you can have audio or no audio. If you want to restart it, use this one. You can start with the other side. You can shuffle. If you know this one, you can take it out and then it won't appear again. And then list, okay, you'll see the list again, matching practice. You write in what her favorite activity is. And then more. So again, once you make a flashcard, you can make anything. If I want to make a quiz, I can, and it will generate a quiz. Pretty basic quiz, just fill in the blanks. Or I can do a word scramble. And this is just unscrambling their names. Does it work well on students' mobile devices? Yes, it works fine on the mobile devices. Most of my students make it. In my in-person classes, I just send them a link via Remind, and then they can do it on their devices. So that is how you make a flashcard. So again, every time you make a Flippity, same steps, different activities, but same steps with the spreadsheet. Okay, you have to make the spreadsheet, click publish, file share, publish to web, publish, and then share the link. And that's how you make it. You can use it for science vocabulary. You can use it for math too. You can put an equation on one side and then the answer on the other. You can use it in various ways. And then the fact that you can transfer it into all sorts of other activities is a bonus. There's unusual steps, but then once you get the hang of it, it's very easy and then you can just make them all the time. I make them all the time, especially like I said, the flashcards, the manipulatives, and in my ESL classes, I use them all the time. I just want to mention that the directions for YouTube are on the instructions and for Google Docs. So again, that's more advanced perhaps, but the directions are all there in the instructions. So for YouTube, you need to make sure that you use share option and copy the link. You do share and then you copy this link. And then for Google Docs, it's the same as publishing the Flippity. You have to go file, share, publish to the web. These are in the instructions. So please read the instructions of Flippity. That's my main advice. So for objectives, did we explore Flippity a little bit? Did we use a Flippity spreadsheet to create a timeline? Yes. And we didn't get to the third one. We didn't get to all of them, but that's okay. The instructions are there. You can do it from the instructions. I hope you're leaving with an understanding of more ways Flippity can work for your classes. Please remember that you can go back and watch part 1, which was focused primarily on flashcards the whole time. Part 1 is in the PD portal.
Thank you so much, Amber.
Bye, thank you.
Bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed this pre-recorded webinar. After you have passed the final test with a score of 80% or greater and have received your certificate of completion, please take a few moments to complete the course evaluation. Participant feedback helps Train PD at TCAL continue to provide high-quality professional development. To leave a course feedback, please go to the completed portion of your transcript. To do this, hover over the My Learning tab and select View Your Transcript. Click on the drop-down arrow next to the word Active and select Completed. Then, click Evaluate in the drop-down menu next to the course you just completed. Please note that your feedback is greatly appreciated.